cool, right? Want to know where I got it? Well, look, go to cs.money. It's a trade platform and a marketplace at the same time. Just choose, click, and get. Good luck, bro.
Case. Big update and new features in the case battles. Updated and convenient interface with new options. Up to 4 users can participate in one battle now. Create and customize your battles, any number and any type of cases. Choose the number of participants and invite your friends with a unique link. Watch the best drop and win everything. Don't miss epic battles on Hellcase.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to StarSeries and I-League. Welcome to the European qualifiers for the Season 8 LAN event. We are into our final match of this here tournament between two of Denmark's, I guess you could say, best tier. I don't know. Depends on your interpretation of things, but they're two very solid squads that are biting for that final European spot in Belek. I'm the Eternal J. Joining me for this grand finale is none other than Mitch, man. How you doing, man?
I'm not doing all too bad. I mean, I've seen a lot of these guys over the last couple of days, and it has been impressive across the board. Tricked, obviously, coming off the back of V4. They're feeling pretty confident coming into it. And then Heroic actually performed really well with Cadian in there. I was quite surprised because overall, when you've got that roster change coming, Blame F departing the roster, I was thinking that was going to be a huge negative for them, but they've maintained a lot of their form coming through this tournament so far.
Yeah, I mean, Tricked one of those teams that you take a look at. It's like you wouldn't have expected them to be at this kind of a level because of, you know, just where they've sort of sat in the scene in the past. But yeah, after that V4 win, you're taking a look at them like, okay, this actually might be a pretty legit squad, and I feel like they might hold a bit more of a fight to the Heroic side. I still think that they're probably the favorites in this series, just based off of recent history, because obviously these two teams, being Danish teams, they have had their experiences against each other. Most recently in the ECS Pinnacle Cup, where Tricked actually took them very, very close, but Heroic still on paper are kind of the better squad. And as you talk about those roster moves as well, kind of throw things a little bit up in the air. So a lot of questions surrounding this best of 3 series, I think.
Well, Inferno comes in as Heroic's pick, so we hope to see a good start for them here if they're going to be taking the series across the line. But it's not a terrible map for Trick. That's the other side of the coin that has to be taken into consideration. Inferno's one where we see them do fairly well against lower level teams. They've beaten Sprout as well. But when it comes up against the likes of a Gamer Legion or a G2, they're not able to hold their ground quite as steadfast. Although the G2 games were quite close. They were a fair while ago, 3 months, I think. I'm favoring Heroic quite a bit coming into this map. But the fact is, Tricked have been playing quite well recently, and you can't count them out of it. You see Hunden coming in with a bit of utility alongside Acor. So we're going to have a very execute-heavy pistol round for the T side.
Inferno feels like one of those maps that should be pretty confident for Heroic. Of course, it is their map pick in this best of 3, with Overpass being the second map as picked by Tricked. I think that they might have a better time on that one, so let's see how well they can handle themselves on T side. Well, not that well, starting things off in the pistol. Tag with 2 very quick shots onto Shush and Roj, and falling back over to the balcony position, potentially dropping down towards Pit. Cadian is there to support him from the bomb site. And a lot of aggression coming in from Heroic, a lot of map control towards that banana area as well. Overall, Trick just getting shut out very early on in this one. Might look to rotate back, and again, they've got a lot of problems if they do. Starman taking first contact, and his teammate will just be there to try to shut them down as they make their way around the corner. Indeed, facing up against one. No, Bubsky will take him down, so 2-for-1 trade. Trick trying to hang on.
We're going to see Heroic backing off a little bit, but they've got the rotations coming around, which is obviously going to help this. Actually, full rotations, 3 players, and they're going to go for mid-aggression with S-Attack. This could help them out quite a bit, holding down the bomb sites down, trying to catch them over. Just hiding behind now, waiting for his teammates to rotate around, but they're smoked off. Eventually, he's got to make a move. They're not checking it. He's fired off like 5 bullets. They must know he's there. Eventually, they spot it. Teammates coming through the smoke. This is going to help out a little bit. The bomb planted. They've got to make it work, and they do indeed. No problemos for Heroic. They only lose one player. And, I mean, the real issue for Trick there, they don't clear the bomb site. They find one kill, and they hear a little bit of noise towards CT, but they don't think to check the back of the bomb site and make sure no one's lurking in the shadows.
Yeah, absolutely. It felt like a bit of an awkward sort of moment there with no one, as you say, checking the back of the bomb site. Pretty crucial position as well to take. I mean, you know, oftentimes when you see a T-side move in, you have to check those backwards positions because those are the most exploitable areas to hold if you're a CT player. And Tricked, way too long to respond to it. I mean, there were missed shots, but even so, Heroic sweeping in with an easy retake on that B bomb site pistol round to their favor. And Tricked will try and force their way back here. Rifles being invested into. Of course, that bomb plant giving you a slight money bonus. So the Krieg out for a core and AK in for Roig. A very passive default coming in from the Trick side. They tried for a bit of aggression in towards the apartment, not expecting Heroic to reciprocate, but this time they're playing a bit more carefully and able to put in a bit of information as well. Realize that they aren't quite 100% bolstered here on the Heroic side. M4 from Starvin and the UMP of Snappy holding out the banana position. And they will get a little bit of tag damage through those smokes, completely blinded out, but now with Snappy peeking up, he should be able to get information, potentially hold an off angle just like they did in that pistol round, except with better weapons, as Trick pushed the bomb in towards mid and pushed the majority of their T-side forces into the A hit.
He's got his nade out. He's going to do quite a lot of damage with it. Hunden even falls. That's not a great start for them. Leaving Heroic with a man advantage and the shotgun holding down on long, that's a really curious choice. Generally, you'll see that deployed over towards the apartments, but Cadian decides that, look, it is a corner. You can hold it up close. You just don't have a lot of impact then if the site does fall. You're not going to be able to do a lot in terms of rotating over from long. They check Snappy. This time a little bit conscious of those sneakier plays coming through. It's down, not quite hitting the flashbang there, so he's got to bail out of there very quickly. With 2 health left, there's no position that's all too favorable for him. He has to rely on catching them off guard and does that exactly, at least taking 1 more kill, and on 2 HP, that was the best he could really hope for.
Yeah, setting up a 3v3 retake as well with a pretty decent HP advantage above most of the T-side players. Roig is very, very susceptible to getting fragged out here, especially with the M4 and the SMG coming up close. Cadian also with a shotgun as well. Lovsky hold back at Old Drill. Roig on the back of the bomb site over at Dark. The main man of a core is over on Banana, so pretty difficult after plant positions. Heroic got to check these angles pretty carefully and pretty quickly. A core will take the first man. Borup trades back on Roig. Lovsky doing damage, takes out another 2 HP for Borup. Again, he's got to stick this whole thing 10 seconds on the clock with no defuse kit in play, and he's out of time at this stage. The AK will get picked up, but I don't think he's surviving. A core will take him down. 2 frags to his name, and Tricked are able to respond successfully. A very nice hit coming through on the force buy.
Jay, I just want to do a quick check with you because it seemed like you were miles ahead of me. On the clock, are we at like 8 seconds now?
5 seconds, 4 seconds, 3 seconds.
What is going on?
Are you
I'm
behind?
miles behind.
Might have to refresh our feeds.
Yeah.
Oh dear. Well, let's give it a quick round real quick. If you want to refresh your feed, I'll refresh mine after this one's over. So, on the heroic part of things, we have got 3 players splitting over to that B bomb site. The scout in for Cadian. The Deagle's also out on the force buy round again, trying to respond with a war of attrition to the Tricked side. Those MAC-10s, of course, coming through with the rifles out over in the apartments. So playing around the heroic setup, not going for that amazing banana control. Oftentimes suppressed by utility, so Trick just don't want to, surrender to the damage at this stage. Look at the CZ close from Esatag. He could do so much here. He spots them, making his way back out. Smoke's available, but they won't bloom in time. The Deagle now from Borup, trying to see if he can hold something back behind the default boxes. 3 players remaining as Hunden finds another frag with the MAC-10. The bomb can get secured on the A bomb site. They've got the smokes up to try and block off the vision. So as soon as those bloom, the CTs probably ought to think about saving at this stage. And yeah, 2 rotating away to that B bomb site. The last man out in the apartments might look for an exit frag on the part of Starvin. I think he might get Hunden here. Yes, he will. So a little something gained, but an SMG, it's not massive. Heroic in the end will lose the force buy round.
Yeah, saving over these weapons is really all they can do. Going in for it at this stage would just be suicide, throwing away the weapons for no reason, considering you've no cash for the next. That's what makes sense. For Trick, you've got a lot of success and a lot of cash built up. If they could drop 1 more weapon, I think Heroic would be fairly happy with the outcome. Because Trick, you just don't want to allow them to build up that amount of cash this early on. Especially considering, 2 players obviously coming into the next round won't have a lot to work with. And Stown can drop over a Deagle, so at least then you've got 4 armed players. No armor, a Deagle can still be pretty effective. There's lots of positions, even just this one we see from Acor holding down towards the pit. If you're on top of that bicycle, you'll be able to take heads off without worrying too much about gun kick. But yeah, Heroic are not in the best of shape. I mean, if you win the opening and then end up obviously conceding 2 rounds, it's going to hurt you in the grand scheme of things. Like, that pistol should really be converted on. But that's the issue with the economy system as it is. Winning the pistol doesn't necessarily guarantee you anything, because a lot of teams can just, or will go for the force buy, especially if they get the bomb plant. That's exactly what we saw Trick doing, making those more economically aggressive decisions. And exactly what we saw from them, I think it was yesterday, where they were just like every single pistol round they lost, they force bought the next round.
I'll continue the force buy trend here very quickly into the apartments. They'll look for the couple of opening picks, and actually they'll be pretty successful here against the Heroic side, who have opted against the eco. So the rifle should just clean them up pretty effectively. The scouting from Katie and almost landing a good headshot towards Banana, but in the end, PT-50 might do a bit more damage from Snappy, and indeed it does. Bubsky down, damaged onto a core, but the last 2 players forced off angle. They know where they are. Should get into the A bomb site. Good tag on Hunden, but not a kill in the end. He actually gets Roge instead. USP pushing around. Katie may have brought his teams a chance. As taps on towards Hunden, takes him down. Bomb on the bomb site. And a core left alone to try and clutch in a very unlikely scenario again for the Trick side. They had all the control, but a couple of misplaced players and a lot of damage being done by that scout. Still a core with a chance, but he's got to find both of these guys, and he has no idea the positioning.
The core hasn't spotted anybody yet. Now he's got to be conscious of a player over to his left. You can see he's checking it at the moment, but library's clear. It's all about the site. Catches one, but will he expect Katie to be in the exact same spot just down below? Probably not. I mean, there's so many angles that Katie could be occupying right now. Smoke goes down so we can retrieve the bomb. 17 seconds left, though. Aker's going to just look for the frag. Jumping over on the scooter. Doesn't quite manage to get up on top in time, and he spots Cadian, but he's not able to take the kill. 37 HP. The CT survives. We're down 2-2 now, tied up with... And it's not too much of a surprise, really, for Heroic. You consider the fact that, obviously, they're coming in with a force... Well, you know, although it wasn't a force buy, they had saved over the weapons from the previous round, plus the deagle dropped over. So the majority of a force buy. And on Inferno, on the CT side, when you've got those weaker weapons, you can make them work tenfold.
Yeah, the scout doing a lot more damage than they anticipated on the Trick side. And Cadian will try and aggressive for Heroic to try and take something out. We'll spot the first player here, and Shush flashes over, and he is blind, but he still connects that shot onto Roage. So a decent start for the CT forces once again. This time they're not contesting the banana position. Oftentimes the Trick side have left this part of the map pretty open, and Heroic oftentimes wasting utility just trying to force them off position. This time they're not there at all, and Trick able to move all the way past the broken wall with smokes coming in, trying to bait in information, trying to get an idea of where the CTs are playing out. They'll see that one smoke coming in from the site itself, so they know that Snappy's there playing close. They'll be ready for the rotations from Starvin over at the Coffins area. A minute on the clock. They have lost that opening kill. As now the flashbangs come in, Starvin will try support. They now know where he is. They should know about the player close as well. The smokes come in, flashes over a core, gets one. Bubsky gets the second. It's a 4-on-3 scenario. The bomb plant should be secured a moment's time, but they've got an extra frag to go with them. And Heroic, they're shut out of the bomb site. This is not a retake they can make work.
No, they really can. Cadian with the AWP as well, going in for a B retake at 2 versus 4. Never going to be happening. Heroic saving over these weapons is, again, the best that they can possibly hope for. And it's not a great spot to be in. We've been back and forth, but overall, that's Trick coming out ahead if you consider one of those rounds, obviously, for Heroic being the pistol and then losing the force directly afterwards. We've not seen anything from them when the rifles come out, or anything good, put it that way. And Cadian just looking for an exit. If he can find one safely, he'll be happy, but you can see Trick, they're bailing down Banana. They don't want to give any opportunities for these rifles to be lost. All surviving after the bomb. Explosion, rather. And 3-2. Trick now in a position that is starting to get a lot better for them. If you look at the Heroic economy, I imagine another force buy is going to come their way with less than 1,900 on 3 players. You're not going to be able to buy up in a convincing manner anyways in the next round. And with it being Inferno, obviously, we've got a super high rate of force buys in general.
Yeah, so Heroic, those 2 rifles being saved will give him a little bit more of a leg to stand on. An extra rifle gets brought down, 2 SMGs. Not ideal, not great either, though. Not bad. Tricks once again in towards Banana very early on in this one. They'll only receive that smoke down towards the arch side. The Molotovs in, trying to force the CTs back from the aggressive angles. And they'll be mostly successful. They've still got to worry about starving here over the sandbags. And Bubsky might not be ready for this. The flash is the support, and the spray is awkward with the AK. It will take his head off his shoulders and start things off well again for the Tricked side. Trying to play around that AWPer as well. They know that he likes to play towards mid, and getting pretty consistent frags very early on here for the Heroic side. They gain the 5-on-4 advantage this time for the T's, but a third man will rotate, and that's Borup alongside KD in here. M4's at the ready, the smokes will go down towards Coffins and towards Cross. Quick response coming through from the utility setup on the CT side as it blooms. Bubsky crosses, KD can get the frag. Back to Evens will go, and Tricked put the brakes on immediately. Not going to go immediately into the bomb site. Just going to wait back for a moment for Flashbang to come in. Roj will take down Snappy, but now they line up for Borup. He only gets the one. Core actually taking out his teammate in this case, so it's a 2 versus 2. And KD's at the back of the bomb site. His flick's not landing with extra utility at the ready, foisting him down. Can't move to the left, can't move to the right, can't move anywhere at this stage. KD just jumbling between the idea of a flank coming through, waiting for his teammates to flash the support though. His backup has arrived. And a Core left alone towards first. Now to clutch it in 1 versus 1. He's found his 2. He needs a 3K in this round, and 30 seconds left. The bomb is on his back. Is he considering rotation? He is. He's going to commit to this.
You can see him taking a route over towards the A site, looking for the bomb plant there, and then he can force the issue by allowing S-Attack, or making S-Attack push into him. It's a smart play, but S-Attack's going to be there quite quickly. Lining himself up to take down A-Core. He's just planted the bomb, making his way back over towards short right afterwards, and he'll be spotted on his cross, so that's S-Attack with the information to play with.
One-on-one situation, a Core just rounding that corner. Hearing the bomb getting tapped, he's trying to find a different angle to work with, but that bomb's been planted towards the pit position, so he's going to have cover there for S-Attack. He's open, never mind. On top of the balcony, he's expecting a Core to peek back towards short, expecting him to hold face, but no, he went for the long flank and it worked better for him. 2-4, Tricked continue to build upon the lead they established early on in this matchup here, Mitch. And now they take the tactical timeout.
I mean, it's the right time to take the tactical for Tricked. They're not going to allow themselves to spiral out of control just yet. That round, if you think about it, yes, they won. They're winning by rounds, but the thing is, it was close. It came down to a 1 versus 1 and a very narrow information game that could have very well seen S-Attack win it and Heroic take the round. There were problems, and now they want to fix those problems coming into the next round to ensure that they're not going to be making any further mistakes. And you can see that their buy is still going to be obviously as solid as can be. More importantly, though, after losing so many players, their economy isn't built up enough that they have any security if they lose this round. So Heroic have done a great feat in the previous by eliminating 4 players. The only issue for them is that now with USPs, it's unlikely that they do a whole lot more damage towards Tricked. Although the weaker weapons do well on Inferno, these weapons are usually a little bit too weak, especially with so many close-range engagements and gun kick thrown into the situation.
Yeah, not much available for the CTs in this round. Tricked still playing carefully though. They're expecting a force buy, which again, as you mentioned earlier, isn't too uncommon for a map like Inferno, so I'm imagining that this should be a very reserved round, all things considered. 4 players stacked up to the B-bomb site with 2 making their way in through Banana on the Tricked side, just trying to focus fire and get the information and potentially rotate off the back of that for the moment. 60 seconds on the clock. The S-Attack, the only man on the A-bomb side. The bomb is fortunately going towards that A position, so not too big of an advantage for the CTs at least. Now the bomb will make its way in, and they're going to walk into the stack. The question is, how much can Heroic do with this? Can they get the frags? Can they get the stack-up kills, the eco pistols? Well, Bubsy's going to isolate 1 player, second going to peek out. They still get the headshots, and Snappy and Starvin quick clean-ups. The bomb's going to rotate back out of position, and for Heroic, this is a fantastic round already.
That's a brilliant position to play in. Again, we're talking about how the USP shouldn't get a whole lot done, and you can see, although the A site's now open for a bomb plant, they've done way more damage than they possibly should have. If they lose this round, which again is kind of likely considering the lack of armor, you're still looking at Tricked having a lot of damage done to their economy and an inability to buy if they get bested in the next round. You can see the long-range duels are obviously favoring them by a whole lot just because they're out in the open. You're hitting non-armored opponents.
There you go, Hunden with that final frag. A 5th on the board for the Tricked side. Yeah, very nice round from Heroic there with the eco, of course. As you mentioned, economical damage up the wazoo for the Tricked squad. The orbs will still get bought up alongside the AKs, of course. You can see they're trying to take the orb towards that mid position. The Claw's going to win it out. Nice start again from the Trick boys. I mean, they still have got the better buy, all things taken into account. 2 FAMASes from Starladder and Snappy will cause a little bit of a problem. So Tricked overall will be able to have everything that they need. Flash in, good orb kill. Roger able to trade it back from Borup over in the apartments. So a 4-on-3 scenario currently gained by the Tricked side once again. Trying to storm down the long area as Esatag's distracted over with the footsteps heard made by Roes. So flashes over from the mid position. Esatag will get forced back a little bit. He's completely blinded off. Still gets that flick on Bubsky. Second face! Drops that bomb of a core. Almost to 3k, but no. Roes denies back to 2-on-2. They can pick up the bomb pretty safely. They can get the plant down on the A site.
And we're still being hit with those delay issues. I think you're much further ahead than I am somehow. So it's a lot of fun. We're working from a clean feed, and we haven't mentioned it to you guys yet. So, you know, we gotta sync it up at some point or figure out how to do that. I'm just now seeing Roje pick up a first frag, and Hunden trying to recover it sitting on the bomb site. I feel like this round's overall being played fairly well by Tricked. But Hunden's been clutching it out again and again. Does it for me a couple seconds after you guys.
Yep.
But it's funny. I can actually see it on the Twitch stream before I can see it.
Let's do a quick refresh right now, see if we can get the clean feed synced up. So hopefully this should work. We have no idea. What's your time on the clock, real quick?
6, 5.
Oh, sync.
4.
We're in sync. Right. Don't touch anything. Don't touch anything.
Hands off
right?
keyboards. Oh, thank God. Okay. It's taken us 8 rounds, so we've got it. Finally.
Awesome.
I mean, honestly, God Hunden's back. Like, for the last couple of days, he's been playing so well. Oh, no! Acor's just been naded to death down the bottom of Banana. It's not a good start for poor old Tricked.
Yeah, they had the nade stack in play here for this eco round of the CT side, and unfortunately Akor is the main man that kind of got hurt by it. I mean, you've seen the early couple of rounds, Heroic conditioning Trick to stay away, and then when they actually tried to take that B Banana control, they've actually seen very little resistance in terms of the aggressive utility. A further nade coming through as well, doing damage to Roes just when they thought it was over. Still a couple more tricks up the sleeves of Heroic. One more HE in from Esatag over on the A site as Snappy gets wrecked by Bubsky, starting things off right here for the T side. As smokes go in, Molotov's over. Cadian left last man standing. Backup's going to be a little bit late to the party. He tries to blind fire and get some headshots, but none of them will come through for them. Instead, Starvin blind fires the very edge of the smoke scenario. Damage done to Roes as well over on the Banana entrance. Bomb plant should get secured. Nades in against him. He still hunts his frag. He gets him down. It's a 3 versus 2 retake to the favor of Heroic.
Yeah, Tricked have got the smoke at least to work around. The boost is going to go up, and that's going to give away a lot of information. Smoke comes down. They're not actually boosting just yet. There it is eventually. Up above the smokes, just should spot them. He hasn't seen it, though. That's going to cost him his life. Hunden now has to show his god-tier form. He finds one, but they're spamming through the smoke. They're doing so much damage. An MP5 going to be retrieved. Hunden's out of there. He needs to try and... he picked up a different AK instead of reloading, but Esatag hunts him down on the deagle to find the kill, and I think there's just about enough time to take that defuse. That's going to be very tight.
Oh. 0.1 of a second. 0.1 of a second. That got way too close for me. Just glad I'm not a Heroic player. I would probably crap myself. But 3-6. CT side do maintain control, just about. And that'll cause a tactical timeout from their end because they realize they're onto something here. They realize that they found a bit of an advantage. The eco round coming through, the economy will bolster itself. Tricked have not a lot of cash left alive for them. The MAC-10 in for Roege, the AK on Hunden, the Krieg on Bubsky. And Shush, I think, has already invested to drop one of those players a rifle, or drop the MAC-10 for Roege, in fact. So a core left to invest this one into what will be a force buy around for the Trick side once again. They are looking... I don't want to say confident at this stage. You know, they have got a little bit of an advantage going to them in terms of the scoreline, but that might be about to change with Heroic on a full-blown buy here. Of course, rifles being recovered. I think an AK might be in play for Esatag. Everything looks like it's going to finally come up Millhouse for the CT side. They can get this round pretty cleanly, then Tricked will be fully reset. There will be no money to buy into round 11 with.
The AWP on Cadian gets to make an appearance again, and I love this. He's been playing really well in this lineup with the op. I was kind of questioning the decision to take him in. Now, at the same time, you got to think Cadian. I don't think he's fully signed just yet, so still very much in a trial. From the best of our knowledge, anyways, best of my knowledge. And but based on his performance so far, I'd be surprised if he doesn't make it into the fixture of this lineup. At the start of this round, gets spammed through the smoke up top Banana, so he's down to 40 HP. Doesn't want to stick around. Obviously, another lucky spam would take him out of the game, so he'll back off a little bit and actually begins to rotate to A. And Tricked haven't claimed any map control. I just want to point out, it's nearly a minute into the round. Look at where they are. They're all grouped up bottom Banana. They had nothing towards B. Stown gets headshotted jumping over. This is a really rough spot to play from now. Like, both of their B defenders are heavily tagged. You can't go back into this retake. That smoke locks them out completely. Is Cadian actually doing it? It looks like he's rotating around. He wants to take the fight at the moment again behind a smoke, though. And this is more dangerous for him than it is for the T's because, again, with being so low on HP, a spam is going to be much more likely to hit him, especially as he's got an op, so he's only got the one bullet.
Looks like Heroic are going to stack up and go for it anyway. Snappy will take charge over from the construction entrance as nades go in, don't catch any of the T-side players, and having seen nothing from Tricked, having seen no post-plant positions, no information at all, they will get one kill on Bubsky on the way out, but they've all retreated back into CT spawn. They're going to concede this round, and Tricked somehow, some way, will pull off a really good site hit. 3 sprays line up to start them though. They lose all 5 players doing so. Overly aggressive from Tricked, no need to peek that angle, just get out and save. And again, Heroic, they won't win the round, but they will get all 5 frags. Remember what I said a moment ago, if they got all 5 frags, they would shut down the economy basis of Tricked. They've got to take a tactical pause to figure out how they're going to go into this next round because there's nothing there, there's no money.
They can just about scrape together a buy. I would have liked to see them save purely for the armor. Like, a lot of the weapons they had were much weaker and they couldn't upgrade them because Heroic had obviously bailed out. And the value of early damage that they found with the spam up through Banana and the headshot with the MAC-10, one smoke locked Heroic out of the site. Well, 2 smokes locked them out of the site completely. They couldn't do anything about the bomb plants. And then a couple of seconds later, Molotovs are thrown down to stop any form of a retake for a couple more. And eventually they say, okay, we're out of here. We've not got enough cash to go for it. For Tricked crossing over as well, I mean, Cadian, this is the thing. They've taken a lot of money away from the CT side. And I feel like this has sort of leveled it out a little bit more. If they save and they allow Heroic to fully save, you could end up in a position now where Heroic have quite a bit of cash stacked up. But with the reinvestments that they have to make, dropping over rifles, rebuying armor, utility, because utility is so important here in Inferno as well, it leaves you in this position where if Tricked do win this round, although it's much, much weaker, you can work with that kind of easier on the T side. In the majority of maps anyways. There's arguments to be made for Inferno CT side force buys, as I said earlier, but this can be a really big benefit for them as we move into the later rounds. That 1-for-1 trade is obviously phenomenal for them. It's a UMP that finds a little bit of extra cash and a weapon you don't expect to win in a 1-versus-1 fight. Stown gets lit backing off as well, and Heroic are being wounded. Not necessarily killed all the time, but the amount of damage that Tricked are doing to them early round is leaving them with very limited options for later on.
And you push up and get that M4 out of the way, then maybe there might be a chance opened up for the Tricked side. As it stands though, those 2 rifles and 2 SMGs are what they have to work with for what looks to be the A hit. They've left Banana entirely. They've got apartments control, a little bit of short control. I'm going to deal with 2 here, Cadian and Esatag, and unfortunately that's that deadly AWP back in play. Gets down the first player, nades on the wall short, perfectly placed against the core, but he's not going to take that much damage. Shush instead gets shredded back by Esatag as Cadian finds another good frag. And Esatag there with a crossfire, locking out the short bottleneck. It's going to be a 4th for Heroic, as indeed the firepower will hurt them, the mispositioning as well. But also the same could be said for Heroic there. Great positioning on their part. And again, great responsive reactive plays from the AWP. I'm loving how Cadian's playing about this.
Tricked buying all the way down. I'm wondering where they're going to take things. They have, like, constantly throughout this tournament, they've been a very aggressive team when it comes down to economic decisions, but this one is pretty much warranted because they had so little money to play around. Bubsky landing himself in a bit of hot water as Cadian eliminates him on the early mid-peak. knowing at this point that obviously with the weaker weapons in play for Trick, this is his opportunity to take that middle peak, find an early duel relatively favorably. You're only really worried about the Deagles in that kind of duel. And for Heroic, oh, they need to be very careful about this aggression. I mean, you're offering up these closer range duels. You can see Trick react and start moving back away from middle. They're looking now towards Banana favorably. They're thinking about their opportunities to go for it, but it looks like they're going to decide against it and instead focus up their attention on the A side, where 3 players still remain tucked down. They've got long control, quite passive over towards short, and with the amount of utility in play for Trick, they could really close in the distance on them.
And of course, opening frag going the way of Cadian once again. Smoke leaves a very slight gap to be seen. It's just about enough for an AWP to get a shot in, but that flashbang there to follow it up pushes Cadian out and tricked into Arch side, into CT spawn. Got one player pulling them over on the apartments area as well. That bomb not committing to the wraparound to the B site just yet. Could go in through long. But options have been opened up for the Trick side until Cadian swings out and does that to a core. Awkward timing on the T-side player, making sure the backstab wasn't in effect, and now Cadian can shut him down. Look for his teammate in Hunden. Actually lands the tag through the wall, but Roage finally trades through. Shush going falling, and Roage trying to find his next CT on the bomb site. Only 10 seconds left. And Tricked, they've got to act now if they want to get this bomb down. Unfortunately, Hunden will go down instead, and Roage left to save the AWP. A bit too passive, a bit too touch and go, a bit too I don't know what we're really doing here for Tricked, and they'll not only lose the round, they'll lose Roage after time. $150, no AWP saved, and Heroic, another confident one on the board.
I don't know how Roje was able to jump out without being spotted, without the communication being there towards Cadian, who is still aggressively down on short. You need to have side and pit being very conscious of anybody coming out. I believe flashes were thrown over, which would obviously harm the pit player, but Cadian not quite being aware, I guess, of the player dropping down behind him. And with the C's out up close, I mean, what can you really do? It's obviously going to cause a lot of problems for you. Heroic at the moment are in an okay spot, considering how things started off, but I still feel like Tricked with 7 rounds on the board, and the fact that they're still putting up a decent fight when it comes to buy rounds, it's not looking spectacular. That's not a bad ace at all, first down. Just spamming them. I mean, look, it's an eco ace. Give him that. He's just spamming through the smokes in a little choke point. Pretty much handed to him. All Glocks, no armor. But it's always nice to have a little stat boost for yourself. Almost on 20 kills after that one.
Still a bit of a hard pill to swallow, though, you know? Just like, yikes.
At least it wasn't an SMG.
That's true, actually, yeah. $3,000 off 5 kills is... I mean, it adds to a money line that Heroic have been able to build so far so well. So Trick would just be really up the creek at this stage with round number 14. No way, no chance to do any sort of economical damage to the Heroic side. I don't even think they've got any chance right now. Money line currently in play. It's all about winning this round and the next one. They have force bought into the penultimate. Means they'll be up for a force buy in round 15 all the same. And more back damage coming through. Bobsky trying to strike off the back of his teammate's assist, but he gets traded back by Starvin. So Heroic overextending a little bit, but easily recovering back to a 4 versus 4 situation. And Tricked, as they always have done, will fall out of Banana, try and focus a bit of a default towards the A side, try to get some information or a kill over there. No such thing will go their way. So slowly, Akor and Hunden will start to look around the broken wall corner. Try and look for Starvin, who is continuing to watch this angle as well. You can see his line of fire, just watching out the stack, slowly peeking into re-established control and pretty active control as well for the CT side. Would he get flashed in for the peak from his teammate, though? He's got Snappy there, ready for him. Here he is. He sees them all, lines up the frags, but only gets the one. A little bit of damage on towards Shush. The 3 versus 3 scenario. Snappy's completely isolated. His teammates are not going to get to the site in time.
They know he's on the side because of where the flash came over from. Does a bit of damage, nades through, not going to find a kill on the other side of the wall, but takes down Akor as well. Into a 2v2s, probably one of the best scenarios they could have hoped for. As a tank, not with the knife, please. That is a risky play to make. He takes down Sjush, and Hunden, being spotted over towards the coffins, is not long for this world, you would hope. Borup was playing a risky game, but he gets away with it. It's all good. Molotov down in the bomb's going to be smoked. Still allow a very swift defuse to come through. Money's not really an issue, so they can throw all their utility. They can throw their weapons away if they wanted. But obviously having a Krieg and an AK is invaluable for the CT side because you can't buy those and you want the one-shot headshots. For Tricked, they're not going to be affording many Kriegs or many AKs. You can see for the most part, they're going to be struggling for cash. And even though they could buy AKs on some of their players, they opt for utility. Obviously, Bubsky and Roj taking those, and then Acor, I presume he's going to go for somewhere along the same. They've got 2 AKs to play with right now. It would be nice to have another rifle, and yeah, he goes for it. Leaves them with only 2 smokes to play this round out, though. So far, Tricked have been very successful towards Banana, but with the addition of a 3rd AK, it looks like they're going to be taking a bit more of a ranged approach down second middle, seeing if they can find early apartments control and work from there.
Also, the problem there being is that Heroic don't really aggress towards apartments. Instead, they just go a bit more passive in this position, just get a little bit of utility out to some of the more standard aggressive peaks from Tricked, in particular that nade down towards the apartment stairs, but not going so far as the bedroom, for example. Arcadian will watch out that position with a very tight angle to hit. Nades in against one man will do damage to Hunden as a very early hit comes through from Tricked. A call with the opening frag. Shush follows through as well. Arcadian with the orb trying to respond all the same. Expecting an angle from 2 different positions, and this is not the best position to be playing at. Snappy will come in to support, but Bubsky shuts him down very quickly. 5 on 2. Damage being done in Wholesome to the T side, but you can see that no frags have come through for Heroic, and 2 orbs on a 3-man advantage retake. They'll find the first frag at least. Starman's got to do some absolutely major heroics to pull this one off. He'll take out Rorid. Secondary frag. Are you really going to do this, Starman? I've seen some insane stuff from this kid. He's found a 3rd kill. Deagle out to do damage to the 4th man. Surely not. He's missing the bullets. And the last man left is the core. He's got himself 2. But Cadian's got a fighting chance of this one. Round the corner with the CZ. And he will just try to defuse. It's 5 seconds on the clock. I think the bomb's too far gone. And Starman's heroic efforts will go to waste on the final round, as we secure 8-7 at the half to the favor of Tricked.
What a phenomenal half this has been for them on the Terrorist side. Walking away with 8 rounds. It's not really what you're hoping for when the pistol round doesn't go your way. At that point, you're gonna be happy with sitting around 6 at the end. And they managed to take it across the line on, again, it has to be mentioned, Heroic's map pick, where Heroic look a lot better by and large. It's a surprising feat. And the Terrorist side, Heroic have been inconsistent as well. We recall the two games they had versus Gamer Legion fairly close to each other. On one, they found 1 round. Now, I think that was out of, it was out of 9, so not a full half played out. But then on another, where they began on the T side, they had an 8-7 half versus the same team within 6 days of each other. So that level of inconsistency could be a bit of a problem for them. And as we look towards this, we want to see the pistol round go their way. And obviously the force thereafter, as we saw them not being able to convert before. Nice openings for them. 3 found, looking towards middle. It's going to be an easy sweep up as Hunden swings to take Cadian. And Stown may have control towards B, but he hasn't got the bomb. And that's not going to help him all too much.
Now trying to play that lurk out on that B bomb site as the main T side force tried to hit in. And they just got dismantled by the crossfire. A nice stack from the Trick side. They only get a core for their trouble, and, well, this is basically round over. There's no way Starman's going to clutch this. And maybe with that AWP, we saw the isolated 1v1s in that last round, but here on the pistol, immediately following that near clutch, and Tricked will be a little bit wiser to his antics. So I'm imagining this to eventually fall to pieces in a moment's time. As taps do come through, he does spot out 1 player, but not getting that frag, not getting any room back against the Trick side. They know exactly where he is, so they'll just play passive. Wait out towards the long and short entrances. Wait for him to peek. Wait for them to take the kill. It's just a matter of time at this stage. Time. It is running out. Flash over. Triple peek. Warage gets the final frag. So, nice. Very nicely done there for the Tricked side. And again, Heroic's map pick. You know, they had a nice confident start. Now Tricked, of course, gaining the advantage at the turn of the half. Now onto their CT side. And with a pistol in their favor, they'll start to put some serious distance between Heroic. The question is, will they try the force buy here on that T side? They did it on the CT side. It looks like they're not exactly on the same page. Okay, everybody does get those buys together. So 4 Deagles, a CZ, 5 smokes out for the execution with flashbangs to boot. So let's see whether their pistol force buy will work for round 17.
Oh, with Bubsky falling off the bat, that's not a fantastic beginning for Tricked. Having those SMGs in play, but losing them, I think it was through the smoke. Never going to be ideal. Now Tricked begin with a 3-man, obviously, towards A, as you would expect. And it looks like they're going to be tested, at least for the time being. Heroic are gravitating towards that site. You've got Cadian looking for the flank. He's not got any armor, so obviously you're hoping to use him as sort of a CCTV camera, and maybe he can even catch them off guard if they come down banana, not checking bottom of T stairs. A very slow attempt from Heroic. they're dropping in smokes, but not doing anything thereafter. Just maintaining control and I guess hoping that anyone else is able to get aggressive on the back of this.
Well, utility poured out, 1 kill. Favor of the heroic side early on in this one. Burst through from Hunden. We'll see 3 players round the corner as Roage does deal with one over on the backstab over towards the banana position. Hunden drops that bomb. Secondary frag, and God, Hunden is not going to get his triple. Starvin and Borup, 2 players left though. He's bought himself and his team a man advantage. Shush backed up here in pit. Got a core on the bomb site as well. Borup needs to find one of these 2 players, but 20 seconds to do so with the bomb just making its way in. They've run out of time here, Heroic. They need to move now. 1 flash, 1 smoke. Smoke goes down to the bomb site directly. Acorn's going to move in, try burst on through as Shush takes down the first player, connects the spray to the second. And Heroic, a very nice effort, but not to be this time. 3 players alive. The SMG stay in play. I think they may have dropped a little bit more than they wanted to, though.
No, making it a costly round for the CT side is always going to be an objective for the terrorists that you can fall back on and say, look, at least it's not terrible. But at the same time, the issue is just because you cost them money right there doesn't mean that they're going to be struggling when it comes to the next buy round. Heroic have to do it yet again. Down's up on 26 kills, I've just noticed. Isn't too shabby at all. But for Tricked, I mean, like, all in all, this is playing out a lot better than I would have expected for them. To be 10-7 in the lead on their CT side now is not a spot that I anticipated them to be in. I thought they had a decent chance at this series, but not really on this map. I'm looking more towards Overpass with favor. And I'm kind of wondering now, Heroic, with the recent lineup change, how is that mentality going to be affected as you move into this? When you start to get beaten back on your map pick, then you've got to recover it on the T side, which isn't easy for the best of teams. Now you've got to stay positive with a newcomer in the lineup and losing a lot of the leadership you had before. Could be causing some issues there.
Burst frag favoring Roage. Bubsky, secondary kill onto Starvin. Utility being used by a core just to try force the issue in the SMG. Fakes a reload as well, so can drop that bomb. Oh, but Hunden takes out his teammate. Not ideal. It's an awkward crossfire to handle in towards that copy corner, so I don't blame him too much, but in the end, the teammates will come through. I think the M4 did get saved, so no major worries for Tricked. We'll have enough to upgrade into the buy here. Core should invest into the AWP, which is exactly what he'll do. And Heroic have 4 Kriegs and an AK to work with. Full sets of utility as well, so no expense being spared here on the T side. And overall, they come out with technically the better buy, but I won't say the better economy just right here. Tricked, making the early faces out towards the mid position. Incendiary down from Shush to try and stop on the early face towards Banana. Does cut off the main T side force from the mid force. As the tag tries to establish Banana control here with the Krieg. He's going to get responded to by a lot of nades. In fact, Snappy takes even more damage with a deeper one down through the arch position. The core peeks up, takes out Borup, starts things off on the right foot. A lot more of an aggressive stance from Tricked. Are able to find these opening picks and a lot of damage being done by utility. 8 HP in total for Snappy. And 3 players still trying to lurk out over in that Banana area. Starvin trying to lurk over in A. Tries to see if he can spot out a core, but he's back behind some walls. So unless he crosses back over to the bomb site, I don't think Starvin's going to get anything out of this. It's up to the rest of them to try and execute in towards B site. A minute to go. I think that's the flower pot boost in play as well from Tricked. So they've got all their bases covered again.
With 50 seconds in the smoke already thrown down towards Banana, we get a little bit of an issue. Heroic definitely have the space to work with. And with Stavin trying to find the flankers and maybe even get access in through CT. The time is quite limited though, and the barrel going to be spotted by Roje. He's able to pick up a little bit of damage and just trying to bait them into taking this peek. Flash goes through, and just again delaying them and making them think that he's going to be swinging through that smoke at any moment. Stavin's able to pick up one on the flank, and that prompts the bomb to rotate over. They've got long control, and suspecting there to only be 1 player or 2 towards the bomb site. Acor coming up behind. Oh, they're not ready for that at all. Evidently, they didn't know that Josh was all alone on the side. He even still picks up 1 on the MP5, and a headshot landed. Here's Destatag reloading, not able to follow through on the frag. But Roje's there to help, having rotated in, and this is a disaster of a round for Heroic. Katie needs to stay alive. He's being hunted down from Banana, but it looks like he's safe enough. He tried to go for the peak there at the end, which just wouldn't be worth it. Especially he knew it was an MP9 there. If you peek out and you lose the fight to the end, if you kill him, okay, he buys an M4, whatever. If he kills you, you lose the only weapon that you have coming into this round, and you still have no money. That would have been just a crazy situation had it unfolded that way.
Disastrous round there for the heroic side. Again, a couple unnecessary stances being taken by the T's, I think. And unfortunately not showing us what they're truly made of. Not a single round so far for Heroic's T side. It's been tricked all the way in this second half, and they'll continue to make it so. Cadian straight in, Shush takes him straight out. Simple spray from the Kree. Getting rid of that rifle as well, just quickly speaking up. I think he tossed that out of the window. So now the T's have nothing to work with. Just these Deagles with Kevlar on certain players. Zakor takes out Esatag, falls back towards the long corner. 5-on-3 already for the Trick side. Heroic's default's just not working out for these kills. They're trying to look for that rifle, but realize now that it's completely out of play. We'll put a nade down towards one good position of the CT side, do a little bit of damage to Shush, but instant response there from Hunden. He knows exactly how to handle himself. Didn't spot the player over at quad though. He will still give up his position, and Shush is not quite ready for this burst through, not doing any damage, but it doesn't matter. The T's are suppressed, Tricked hold all the cards.
Not just in this round either. Like, for Heroic, it's just starting to get very demotivating. And with the recent departure of Blame F, you can imagine the kind of turmoil that's going on over in the comms. They're trying to figure out where they want to take things. Now, with Deagles in play, this is a round they can afford to lose, but they have still invested quite a bit into it. And for Tricked, the fact that they've got so much weaponry to work with, their economy is building up. Really, we need to see Heroic find 2 to 3 kills if they want any chance of coming back into this, to make sure that they don't have to win multiple buy rounds in a row. Bubsky finds another on the SMG, which isn't really helping the economy situation. And there's Roger peeking out for the final alongside Hunden. That's it. I mean, it's 13-7. Look at Trick's economy. They have 2 full buys in a row, even after this one. Bubsky's maintaining his MP9, at least for now, and looks like he will, considering he's playing over towards B. He's got the opportunity to use it early round. And so this effectively becomes a bonus round for Trick. They're not even 1,000,000% focused on winning it just because Bubsky hasn't upgraded. But it's such a small disadvantage. On the other hand, Cadian, rocking him at $1,300 in a P250. He's saving over cash so that they can get an AWP out in the next buy round should they lose this one. Which is a brave play, because at that point it would be map point for Tricked by the time they get another set of rifles out.
Yeah, at this point, Heroic better think about using one of those tactical pauses they still have in play. I think they've still got 2 left to try and reset mentality, because their pacing is completely off. When they go for the hits, they're not confident. Even when they play the defaults, they're not confident in their own right. You know, Tricked are able to win such good fights to their favor. As you say, they're even in a situation where right now they don't even have to worry about winning this round, because they know that they've got 2 full buys after this, as you mentioned as well. And the SMG still on Bubsky. He's still got an SMG on round 21 on a full buy economy basis for Tricked, and I think that really speaks volumes to their mentality at this moment. 3 rounds for Trick to go as Heroic try and set themselves up towards that A-bomb site. Might have a little bit of utility for this, but Nades in response going to say, we're still here, boys. If you want to take this site, you've got a hell of a task up ahead of you. 40 seconds, they do make their way on towards long, and 2 players ready to respond towards CT and Arch side. It looks like they are committing towards A regardless.
Pincer in on the bomb site. Nice angle by Shush. He's found himself 2 looks up the balcony, but he's unaware that Stavin's still rotating around on the site, finding himself the bomb now and getting it planted. A 2 versus 3, but pick control goes towards the T side, and the time is on their side. The bomb now ticking away. Tricked have to push into them. Flash goes over, but no reaction on the back of it. Stavin hasn't been spotted there. The smoke was covering it. As we could see, Bubsky jump peeking to try and catch an angle. 2 through short. Molotov comes in. Borup's going to be ready to take a peek here any moment. Now, there's a flashbang on Stavin, but he can't really afford to deploy it, as he could be pushed from long at any moment. But Borup covers the push onto site, taking down Roger, but Bubsky finds another. This is all onto Borup. He finds one, sees the other player up on top of the box. Bubsky's closing in the distance, close range fight. Borup dancing around, finds it. A second kill, a third kill rather, but a second there in the last play, and an absolutely wonderful round to win for Heroic. This was really their last chance at it. If they lost that round, it would have went down the toilet. But they get themselves an AWP saved over, an 8th round, and an attempt to stop the Tricked money machine from building up any further.
And they'll take a tactical timeout to make sure that that certainly remains the case, that they have the chance They do not choke it at this stage. Again, I suggested the idea of a tactical in that last round. Apparently they're listening to me. The mentality needs to change from Heroic if they want to have a chance of pulling this one back. They will have, again, as you mentioned, an opportunity to reset the economy of the Trick side. But ideally, this needs to go a little bit further than just the short-term money game, because Trick can eco off the back of this round. They still have another buy-up after the fact. And the double orb set up as well in from Bubsky and Accord. This is what that SMG was all about, just building up the cash into the rifle buy where the orbs will be played. First orb going out, I believe, over to B Banana. The second one out towards the apartments. Not taking much of the aggressive positions here, except for that AWP in the apartments area. They're going to try this close and long position crossfire. I like this little crossfire that you'll see coming from Trick in a moment's time. I mean, they're a little bit slow to get it set up, but usually it requires one CT off towards the left-hand side. They bait in the T-side players that make their way in from the stairs area. Then the AWP takes them down. They can focus on the players over in the bedroom entrance. I really like that little setup, but for here it's going to be a lot more passively apparently, and it only works out for the one kill, but Bubsky able to keep the trades going over towards Banana. I say that though, he does lose his backup as he gets a secondary kill, so we stand at 2 versus 2. Heroic making their way into the A bomb site. They now know that if isolated the AWPs, they've just got to win these all battles, and Snappy will do just that.
Acor was heard dropping down off the bench. Snappy was able to just focus on the angle, wait for the push around. And it's all on to Bubsky, the second AWP, looking to find himself a clutch. He's been spotted out, looking for the fight on the site. Snappy has no need to take this. Stavin is covering the push over, but evidently Bubsky's got a little bit of an idea on this. Knowing the AWP is playing so passive, he suspects something is up. Jumps around to try and bait out the shot. Looking in CT, he knows where Stavin is, but he can't find the kill, can't find the angle, so he's bailing out to save the rifle. Stavin's waiting for him, though. And so that rifle is going nowhere. Heroic keeping themselves alive on the terrorist side. Historically hasn't been their better of sides overall. And despite a pretty poor performance on the CT, they're still able to get quite a bit done. We see the replays of a couple of the kills we missed. And Heroic just had that on lockdown. A lot of the action came in so quickly, but it was trades. Although it was kept very close, trades do leave the T side with a bit of an advantage, because you can see in the situation where it's a 2v2, the CTs are so spread out that they've there's no way they can kind of play backup for each other.
Again, that forces Heroic up to an anti-eco. USP is coming through, 5-7 out for Roege, but that's about just not going to do anything at this stage. Snappy, Cadian at the tag, quick frag, Starvin follows up on towards Bubsky. The last man left is Roege here. Rotating in from Speedway, but this round is already over. This is going to be Heroic with a 10th. Not too concerning again if you're a Trick fan, because they will have the buy up here in the next round. Again, I was mentioning it earlier, the economy state is just about enough to eco in this round and then go for the full buy in round 24. Heroic, meanwhile, will make their way up to 10, so trying their best to contest. It's finally their first couple of rounds on this T side will start going their way. Third one in a row. Roege at this point just looking to try and get an exit frag. Lines up 2, in fact, but in the end, York will shut him down for 2 kills on the part of Cadian. And now Tricked can invest. AWP for Bubsky, 2 M4s, second orb from Hunden dropped out to a core. They seem to be loving this double orb setup, apparently, Mitch.
Well, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. But at the moment, seems to be pretty broke.
I was going to say, like, you sure?
Yeah. I mean, like, the thing that I'm looking at for Heroic is that a lot of the rounds, pretty much every round that they've found so far, the last 3 in a row, have been because of individual performances, whether it's been Stabin, Cadian, or Borup, finding 2 to 3 Ks in the round and finding really crucial openings. For Trick at the moment, I don't feel like it's going terribly. They just seem to be losing control when it comes to the numbers game, where they're not playing off each other correctly. Immediately, Strush is traded out there. It's a good start. Borup falls as well. Acor sitting on the site. You've got a double op setup on the A side alone, and the backup coming in on the M4s. Acor surviving, dropping down below. Takes out his op and companion of Cadian, and can't find a no-scope. It's a brave attempt. They give Snappy an opportunity there. That was a way back in, but he doesn't find it. And 14 to 10. You can see the double op setup worked. One of the first times I've seen both holding on the site go so successfully, but can't criticize it because it worked.
Yeah, I would have asked questions as well prior to this round taking place. So, you know, no harm, no foul, I guess, is the appropriate statement. Quite aggressive from Heroic, though, and Tricked were almost caught off guard. The individual performances didn't come out this time. It was more of a team play style. As the T's have to take a little bit of a moment of respite as Tricked take their tactical pause. They also have to point out the numbers game right here. Take a look at how many frags Heroic have, or Tricked have at first, actually. Take a look at the spread between 18 to 14, and Heroic spread between 10 and 33. Starvin having a lights-out performance, and even then, he's on the losing side right now. Like, he's done some pretty insane stuff for Heroic over the past couple of months, but this probably is a little bit of a new level being brought to the table here on Tricked. And again, he can still lose this map. It all comes up to this next round. If they lose, then the economy will be busted on map point for Tricked. Same could also be said for Heroic if they can win the round, because there's not a lot of cash sitting around on the CT side, but they won't be able to get to match points. They've got a bit more of a climb to try and come back in against the CT side.
Stavin literally has more than double the kills of the second person who's Cadian on the AWP. Like, that is just dirty. It shouldn't be happening, and it comes back into what we were talking about from Heroic being very individually based when it came to winning a lot of these rounds, whereas Tricked have that more tight-knit performance, and it feels like they're just playing better as a unit. When it comes down to the CT side, you can see a little bit more, I suppose, unit-type play or team play. You have to be playing off each other, specifically towards this B site. You've only got 2 there to hold it down, but it is a choke point that they have to push through. Heroic are going to help that out by throwing a lot of smokes over. Taking away a lot of these angles. Bubsky is safe up above it, though. Maybe safe's the wrong word, but he can peek above it by standing up on top of the coffin. Flash banged and bail him back. He gets into cover in time. J up on top, spamming, lands himself a kill, even though he was blind and threw a smoke. Trying for a little bit more, it's a brave move, but relatively safe with the smoke covering his retreat. Now the smoke and coffins is faded, but that doesn't serve Bubsky too well. Not landing himself the frag, and with only one AWP and an M4 being the main weapons they've got to play with, these next duels are very important. If Heroic find 1 or 2 frags, you will see them winning the round, as Tricked will save almost immediately. If they don't even want to go for it at this point.
Well, put the utility down, so it looks like they do, but Cadian right around that corner, not tempting so far much as those 2 pixels. He sucks down Shush, and Rise is also quick to fall. Cadian with a secondary kill. As Starvin cleans up 2 of his own. Nicely done from Heroic. All 5 players down for the Tricked side, so they committed, they didn't pull back. A brave effort, but one that will cost you in the long run, because again, the economy is destroyed. $2,000 float for the Tricked squad. Should be seeing the eco come through for them. Maybe a bit of investment from a couple of the high rollers on the part of the CT forces. But other than that, it should be an easy 12th for the Heroic side. Of course, Orbs in, Krieg's out, AK for Borup. And a mid-stack rush from the CTs as they just want to end this round very quickly, get right back into the rifles here. Cadian with the AWP first shot, Sun with a second. Nice and easy around the corner. And Shush will get off with 1 good frag, but he's not bound for this world. Neither is a core, neither is the 15th for Tricked at this stage. 12 on the ball for Heroic, now within 2 of the CT lead.
Yeah, playing that kind of faster strategy, I respect it. You want to walk away with more than 1 kill, ideally. You can see Heroic's economy isn't going to take too much of a dent because of it. And a pause comes through. This is a technical pause. We're going to be fixing those issues in the background, usually not lasting all too long. For Tricked at the moment, I mean, it is starting to get a little bit too close for comfort. Heroic are winning these rounds a little bit more convincingly. I mean, okay, we'll look away from the round we just saw with the pistols. Let's talk about 14 to 11. When they hit that very much spread out from the narrative of it being a solo performance. They had a good fast hit towards the B site. Well-timed execute, played it well together, despite, obviously, they found the kill on the Bubsky in a very individually based manner. And had he have popped off, they would have been very vulnerable to it, as the trades weren't really set up properly. But they were still clearing the site, so you can give them a little bit of space for that one. Then moving into the late round, when that retake came through, you had Cadian and Stavin working perfectly together, landing themselves the kill with the AWP. As Cadian took down Shush, I think it was, we saw Stavin peek out. They're distracted, looking for Cadian on the site. Stavin's then landing them from the other angle, and it's easy peasy. And that's much better than what we've seen from Heroic so far, which has been a very sporadic and almost more Pugstar style than what they've managed to develop later on. Also, Stavin's on 37 kills. Again, with the ecos, I think he found the eco ace as well, if I'm not mistaken. I think it was him. So he's had a couple little stat boosts, but still, an absolutely out-of-this-world performance. Like, the next closest player to him is Cadian on 19, and he has 37. And that's the next closest player on the server to him, not even just on his team.
Yeah, lights out performance from Starvin. The question is, will it be enough to carry Heroic up to the map victory? Should be noted as well, like, this is like one of only 2-3 occasions, I believe, that there's a chance that Heroic might actually see a player 40 bomb in regulation. Like, I've seen it done before, but only like twice. So, history-making matchup in the making, potentially. Depends on how ham Starvin goes in this one. He gets the 3k, and that's easy as that. But so far, the T's will be suppressed by the early utility play from Tricked out towards the banana position. A lot of Molotovs going down, and no presence will be faced by Heroic. And as a result, Trick take a bit more damage than their opponents do. I'm not sure if that was team damage by their own Molotovs or just blind sprays from the Heroic side, but either way, the HP stands at what it stands at. They leave Hunden to contact play B as they stack over at the A site. A strategy that used to be pretty common about like 6 months ago, but these days a lot less so. Heroic not really falling for that either. Not going to go aggressive in towards A. They're trying to take that banana control once again as Hunden, with the smoke out, tries to hold this control a little bit further. If he goes down, though, I think they will know that this is a contact setup.
Molotov's going over. Hunden knows, but he's flashbang. Not a chance to get away with anything there. And this will be a clean take of the B bomb side as soon as that Molotov fades. Only delaying themselves with the molly. That stopped Hunden even thinking about backing off. Rojay's here. He's trying to get spams through the smoke again. Obviously had success with it before. I thought he was going to back off to... Okay, yeah, he is. So you saw him for a second walk into church. Then he backs off. So I'm thinking, okay, they're going for the save, which makes sense in that situation. And then he started, like, I don't know, standing inside the smoke with his back turned. I thought they were going to flash him in and look for the kill. And apparently that's what he was calling for by his position. But then the communication is there, presumably from Hunden, like, no, it's too late. They'll already be on site. You flash in, you die. Let's just go save. That's you can see they respected the call, even though Rojay clearly wanted to go for it. And I like that. I mean, when you're on a team with a player like Hunden, there's no world in which when he says do this, you go, no. Like, you just respect it. Man's got a brain that's just too damn big.
Like disobeying God B's calls, you know, you'd have to be a bit of an idiot to go ahead and do that, you know. But quick plays out for the T side, trying to then get some exit frags, and indeed Borup drops in on Roage, but 2-3 kills go to favor of the CT side. That's actually pretty big. Lots of damage being done to Heroic. They should have the economy to recover it, but the fact that they keep their rifles in play is an even bigger prospect for the Tricked side. M4s and Kriegs can come out. No AWP this time, but another good buy will be forced out by the CT forces. So a bit overly aggressive from Heroic. They had the money to go for it, so again, I don't blame them too much for it. AWP staying in play for KD and the AK out for Borup and the Kriegs. Now to support them here. CT's with a 3-2 split this time, much more standardized. There with the apartments, 2 players over on short, so long. Bit exploitable here. Nade off from Hunden, double up. Borup could tank this, and indeed he tanks too much. Down and out to begin. Tricked just Hail Marying their way into the apartments, and it actually works for them. As the T's look to go quick into the A bomb site setup. They now know that Long's pretty exposed, but of course still here with a spray. Drops down his attack with the Molotov. Secondary frag, dropping that bomb as well out towards the arch side entrance. Starvin and Cadian, last 2 players in check, and a 5 versus 2. Tricked may have finally found the map point they've been hunting for, but Starvin is still in play. He finds Shush, trade back from Hunden's denied. He flicks on. There's another CT out towards that long position. They will force him back a little bit, but they have to contest him. The bomb is still in Bubsky's control.
I tricked her all around this bomb. They're all over it. 3 players looking at it from different angles. Heroic regaining access is going to be pretty damn difficult. Coming in through long, and at the moment that's being watched by Rojay. Acor's more than capable of swinging out in time. The flash doesn't quite catch him. Acor lands one before being traded out. And a flash to go over. Stavin not going to be deterred by it. He now knows there's a player in towards CT, or at least he should, based on where the flash came from. But the flank coming around from Bubsky, it's going to be anticipated in just a minute. See, the thing is, Bubsky's tucked in on the bomb site now. All he has to do is hide, wait for the plant to go down. There's 10 seconds. Stavin shouldn't be spotting him in time. Oh, look at Bubsky. He's hiding in the corner. Hiding behind the pillar. Hello. Stavin only sees his feet and gets dropped. Really well played game of hide and seek, and it's 15-13 on the back of that.
Hey, at least Starvin got the 3k for his 40 bomb, as we see this sequence here. Nice adjustment on Hunden. So at least a consolation prize for Heroic, but I don't think it will be enough to win them the map itself. Just Tricked take their 4th and final tactical. Honestly, this might probably be more beneficial to the Heroic side to take a chance to slow things down and talk things out, because very clearly there is an issue in the team when one player is performing insane and you're still not even, I mean, to the point of 40 bomb insane, and you're still not even winning the round. Or winning the map, I should say. When the kills are so disparagingly difficult. Again, we still got players on 10 kills. Snappy, unable to frag for the past 3 or 4 rounds. Heroic staring down the barrel of defeat on their map pick. And again, remember, the second map in this series is Overpass. That's a really good map for Tricked. Probably one of their best in the pool. So if they lose this, there's a good chance that a 2-0 will go the favor of the Tricked squad. They need to get these opening picks. Unfortunately, they will. Cadian shuts down Bubsky to open things up with the AWP. The Tricked have been pretty good at trading so far in this one. Can they gain a man advantage back? Look like they might just do here. Core trying to regress down towards that mid position. Starvin also in the boiler room, ready to try face against him. Smokes at the ready, and a Core will just sit pretty and wait. Have to force the issue against Heroic, who rounds that corner. He misses the shot. Starvin ducks out the way. And that's a 5-on-3 for Heroic.
So now it's for Heroic to decide where they want to take things. Maybe they run into the stack of Tricked, and I think if they don't, it should just be a save. Tricked carrying forward cash that they've got, the weapons they've got for the next. Heroic making the right call. That smoke is just a tease. Tricked sitting there, oh, we've got them. They're coming in. But no, it's not going to be happening. Now for Heroic, the question has to be asked. So we can't see their money just yet. I think it's very low.
Very, very low.
Yeah, so we shouldn't see... Yeah, indeed. When they get this bomb planted, I think it's going to be commitment towards sight and saving. They shouldn't be hunting down Tricked. If they do, that's very, very reckless of them. For the cash they're going to get, they can't really afford to lose... well, they don't want to lose any players. I think they can lose 2. And then drop over rifles, actually. So maybe send 2 players into hunt and the rest just save over. Certainly with Esatag being having $2,300, he can afford to go for a little bit of aggression. And the benefit would definitely be there if they can remove these weapons from Tricked's hands. Instead, they're sending a full 3-man up banana with Stavin soloing down in CT. This could be very dangerous for Heroic. If they lose a couple of players, it's going to really hurt them. They've lost 1. Now I just want to see them back off. Hunden through the smoke. Stavin manages to drop Roche, but another by Hunden. He's an IGL, not a goddamn opper, but he's taking them all down, and this is deadly for Heroic. Look, their cash is going to be hurting a little bit. Luckily, Snappy can drop over a rifle. Borup can buy himself up, so I think utility should be mostly okay. It's actually misread from me. They're relatively okay, considering the fact they saved 2. Had they lost 1 more player, you'd be really hurting. The AWP buying back up would be very difficult to manage. And Snappy, obviously, if he bought armor, if he had to rebuy armor, he wouldn't manage another weapon.
I mean, ordinarily, I would be on the same page as you right there, you know, but 3 kills is usually the point where you're like, okay, now there's going to be damage being done, but Heroic, fortunately, just above that buffer line. So not quite as deadly as you say, but it might just be enough for Tricked. SMG's out for Bubsky, sprays through Hunden, nades out, and Bubsky gets a secondary kill as well. The banana aggression goes horribly for Heroic, and that most certainly is deadly for them. Bomb dropped out here. It is in T-side control, but a massive 2-man advantage for Tricked. Looking like they might push past the final hurdle at the final round. The AWP of Cadian tries his best to catch somebody off guard here, but smokes to give Bubsky a little bit more cover. One lurk over from Borup over in that mid position. The AK will fall back and join Snappy and Cadian because they are going to need a unified push, and a perfect push at this. B site will be the most exploitable. Only 1 player there, joined by a second man coming up right about now. And here come the smokes. Here comes the execution from Heroic. It's got to go well.
It's the last chance really coming in for Tricked with the weaker weapons after the hunt down previously, which was good from Heroic. I'll correct myself. I'll put my hands up for that one. Oh, nice opening by Snappy. Okay. Has been an underrated player so far, but doing decently to find that. We're going to see the spams coming through onto him as he plants, but nothing landing just yet, and he bails out of there with his life. Now they know there's a player to maybe be isolated. Hunden gets taken down. What is going on? Snappy in there with a third. 2 players are low, though, and as Snappy falls, it's into a 1 versus 2. Shush coming in as an AWP on Cadian. Despite his low HP, he can get a lot of damage done. Borup can trade out immediately, but no, Cadian just takes the kill, and we're going to an overtime. Heroic are not down and out just yet. A 3v5 pulled off with only 1 casualty. Whoever said Snappy wasn't the MVP? I think it's still Stavin, but you know.
I was going to say, like, are you sure? Are you sure, considering those numbers?
I'm saying, I've seen a lot of people be very mean to Snappy recently, and I think he's definitely proved his worth right there. Although it has been a very slow game.
Well, when he has been needed, he has turned up. So, of course, the savior of the round, Snappy. 13 kills, but it is just about enough to push past the edge of it. As you can see, we're in overtime for this first map. Feeling like Tricked had control, but slowing down towards the end of it. Even though they were sitting right there on map point, looking like Heroic have finally woken up a little bit. MR3 16k is our rule set for OT here at StarSeries. And the first to 19 will be the victors of this first map. And again, I'll stress the importance of this one. This is Heroic's map pick. Tricked are so confident in our second map that realistically, I say, Heroic need to take this map in order to have a chance in the series. But this is their chance to bring that comeback back. The AWP in play for Cadian. We've got Starvin, Snappy, and Tag on Kriegs. AK, excuse me, for Borup. And the M4s in 4 players. The AWP of a core. Ready to try to take face of the defensive of Tricked. In fact, a core will look for the opening frag down mid, but no presence will be seen by Heroic as of right now. Playing the utility game in the early part of this one, and as will the CT forces as well. Damage will be done to the first contact. Looks like he'll just sneak his way in, but you can see how much that utility is really done to the Heroic side. I didn't even see it from our position, but Snappy on 15 points of HP. It's not a good look.
Down goes Roje, though, thanks to the trading damage that Snappy had done already. Tag won't be finding a whole lot more as they back off towards the site. But I think he can be happy enough in the man advantage, even considering the damage done to Cadian and Snappy. And Tag. Bubsky goes into the back of a flashbang. Doesn't catch Cadian, but he finds the kill nonetheless. And onto Tag. Very well played, recovering the man disadvantage. And Bubsky is just straight out of there. Bailing back towards the bomb site and leaving Heroic to try and recover what started as a good round for them, but has descended into chaos with the bomb also dropped. And I agree with the call to leave the bomb there. It's not worth trying to maintain aggressive banana control with such low HP. You risk throwing the round away very, very quickly.
Damage being done to Snappy on this AWP at the moment. They've got Borup blocking back over on the A-bomb site. Known for when the 2 players held out a pit, very passive stance from Trick, but it should work out for them considering the 4-on-3. Got to find these 2 kills if Heroic want a chance at the bomb site, and indeed, first face against the Orb. Snappy takes out Shush actually, but a core able to respond incendiary down. That should be round over right there. They accomplish the bomb on the back of that, and if it wasn't certain enough, a core will land a 2k up for the third. He burns Snappy alive. It just peeks around and starts to move on towards the truck. That gives 16 again to the favor of Tricked. A nice start here in overtime. So the damage being done is really what turned things over for them, especially with those kills coming in against high HP players as well. So there we go. Nice plays in, a core with a 3k. Free buyback from Heroic, obviously being 16k. But not the best start from the Danes on the T side.
But a good start for the Danes on the CT side. So, I mean, Tricked coming in with the opening, it's going to help them out a little bit, keep all the spirits high. Because they were so close to closing it out. It's never ideal when you're going to be locked out of it, you know, forcing them an OT and a potential loss. But Heroic having that opening duel, having things go their way and to have it just snatched out of their hands, it's definitely going to hurt them. Hunden's got a molly in play. He needs to be super careful here. It's thrown out, but he turns his back. He gets lit up on the way towards the bomb site and loses all control of Long. They push through to CT. Bubsky tried to get aggressive down Banana, but he's eliminated now, opening up a potential B push, leaving Roje all alone. He's stuck there. He's just got to sit in Banana, wait for a push to come to him. With CT open as well, I don't see him getting a whole lot done. Oh, maybe he does as the Banana fight comes in, a double, and maybe even the triple. Last time I'll ever say I don't think someone's going to do a lot. Now, the flank behind, is he going to anticipate it? No, he doesn't, so getting taken down. That's kind of what I was leaning towards from Stavin. But sadly, his whole team died in the process. So never mind.
Roeg doing massive work for Tricked in that one, and Starvin have to fight back towards the banana position. The bomb is obviously in CT control. They'll face one by one. Triple peek. Borup with a nice lineup, though. 2 kills to his name. Up for the 3K! And Roeg gets 3, Borup gets 3, everyone gets 3 here in the server as Heroic do equalize against Tricked. And very awkward mispositioning. Everyone focusing on Starvin didn't forget, well, they did forget, excuse me, that there was a second player on that T side. And again, another big individual performance from someone that really needed to step up right now for the Heroic side. The last round of the half will not lead to a map point just yet. A double orb setup comes out from Heroic. Esatag and Kanian. What can they do with this? Not common to see that on the T side, and Core proves why. Much more confident AWPing from the CT forces as he takes out Esatag. Starts things off once again in the 3rd round for Tricked.
I mean, this has been a crazy start to the overtime with both rounds just swinging back and forth. No predictability in how it's been running. Nice nade onto Kadian. Oh no, but the damage is returned by Snappy. In through the smoke onto Bubsky. They're going to aggress on the back of it, thinking Roger maybe backed off. He finds, oh, great target selection. He sees the first guy has an op and has already shot, switches immediately to the AK, and then goes back to finish off the AWP. Really, really fast calculation of who he needed to kill, who the most important or most dangerous player was. That puts them ahead now 3 versus 2. Down starting to move towards B. Whilst his teammate is pushing up A. Yeah, okay, it's a fake. I was getting a little bit worried there. But this makes sense. Just selling a little bit of fake information. He's got to make a move now, run straight up middle. And then they just, once they deal with Stush, this round is back under their control. If they can deal with him.
Main anchor point, the main linchpin for the CTs. He gets tagged on the first man, takes out Starvin, looks in for the next man as well. And Tricked will be able to secure round 17 on their board. And you asked if they could deal with Shush? Well, apparently they can't. The solo holds the A site. But again, nice effort from the CTs down in, or both on the site and the Zulbano, as you say. You know, great reactions from Roeg, able to, you know, calculate exactly who to get. I think Anders said it best when he calls it inhuman reactions. So for Tricked, it's enough to push it over the edge and get the advantage off the back of their CT side. Now moving on to their T side, this is where they're actually able to get the advantage overall in the half. They had an 8-7 half, so in theory, in paper, they should end up being Tricked taking a 19th. In practice, it may be very, very different. That was a very long time ago. As Heroic move in with a double orb setup this time on the CT side, and a lot of mid-aggression. Look at how far pushed up Esatag is here. He'll look for that opening frag and he'll find it onto Roeg. Kadian still here to support with the AWP. No overcommitments here from the Trick side. They smoke down to cover off the AWP as a core does get Esatag down. But a lot of damage being done to Tricked in the meantime. Heroic will gain a map advantage as well as a HP advantage.
The thing to look at in the initial half that we saw played out is the fact that buy rounds have been very close. Even though Trick came out with the majority of rounds, it still ended up in a relatively close position. In the majority of buys, I think it was very close to 50-50 win rates. Which obviously favors Trick then coming into it, even if they've got an even chance of finding 1.5 rounds, or 2 rounds, obviously. And it's looking better for them, because Heroic are only in with a decent chance of finding an overtime, really. Like a flawless CT is going to be so hard for them to find. But at least managing to recover it quite a bit, leaving Hunden and A-Core to pull it all the way back. And for now, they're not finding any ground. Moving towards Banana, where there's a two-man hold. Who's it? Snappy and Stavin holding down. And down here, he's got the AWP. Just looking at the corner, you can see this position is so hard to deal with. Luckily, they've got the utility still. It wasn't all expended early on. So he'll be smoked out. Pushing a little bit further out. They've got the man advantages to play with, right? He could hold that and play super aggressive, find 1 kill, get traded out, but it would still leave them in an okay spot. But you do want to play a little bit of the longer game, and with Borup coming down middle to find a flank, this is it. I mean, Hunden is trapped. He's being Molotov'd. He's been shot. Everything is happening to him. He's about to be pushed from the side as well. No chance of walking out of that one alive. 17-17. We're all tied up yet again.
I have to rewrite my theory in this case here. Tricked. A very unconfident round, I want to say. Sticking with the bias here, the AWP for a core, the double up setup from Starvin and Katie. I don't think they'll go for the same mid-aggression. This time, Trick should be able to respond to it. Utility setup once again goes out towards Banana, and Starvin forces a core into position he likes to work with. Body block made from a teammate, not ideal. By the way, they've gained the man advantage. They will concede Banana control because now they can defend the bomb site off the back of this. And the CTs realise this as well, going back to the A site. On passive positions, getting ready to receive the Tricked side. They move up towards Banana. They're looking like they want to commit off the back of their failings to get the kills. A little bit of damage done to the AWP and everything. There shouldn't be too much of a worry for Bubsky. He'll still shoulder bait, trying to see if he can spot out Starvin. I think he may have got the information on towards him. Counter smoke back from the CT forces will try block. This is exactly how they defended the bomb site last couple rounds. Snappy. Boosted up here towards the new box, ready. A very tight angle to hit. Will Trick be ready for it? Smokes down, flashes over. Starman playing in the back of the bomb site over towards Dark. And here they come. AWP shot does not land on the first man. They're ready for Snappy. They do deal with him. Starman now isolated. His teammates can't get him in time. They will flash support it, but Bubsky's ready. He doesn't catch a single whiff of the blindness. 4 versus 3. And the retake will be coming in almost. Katie and trying to land that shot, but he missed entirely. So here it comes. Retake 4v3.
God Hunden's peeking over towards Snappy, knew exactly where he was. Nice shot by Katie, and Notice pulls it back somewhat until the trade goes in from Roje. Keeping it in favor now for the T side, and it's only getting worse as Attack walking towards the site. Peeked out by Stush, and it's all up to 18-17, all down to this final round. Trick could be on the verge of taking it over the line. Or they are on the verge. Could be taking it over the line with just this round right here. 46 kills on Stavin, or Stown. Not too sure how to pronounce it. I think in Danish, I think it's Stown, but
in English, you said Staff.
Exactly. Yeah, you never know. I never know what to go with.
I have never been contested on this. I've never been contested on this, so I'm gonna stick with Staff.
All right, we'll roll with Stavin.
All right.
You know what? I'm gonna go with you, Jay. We're sticking with Stavin from now on.
I mean, we've made this decision about 36 rounds too late, but you know, it's all good. Tricked.
Just a little bit.
Into the defaults, out towards mid and second mid, trying to get in the apartments. A spray from Snappy again starts things off for Heroic, but a cause like, sit down, son. You're not getting away this time. Wallbang headshot against him 4-on-4. And Tricked. Still playing passive, still looking for that man advantage. Still playing carefully around the 2 mid positions. And been a while since we've seen them go for an A execute here this time. Might still be another banana hit though. Like, bombs down towards T stairs. 2 players going to join him. A 3rd man's on the way, so the 4-man stack coming in a couple moments' time. AWP peeks in, ready for 1 player to be here, but he's back on the bomb site. Starvin playing off stairs. Round the corner for 40 seconds on the clock. Tricked, looking for the execute. They've got to go quick this time. They've run the clock pretty low, and any utility from Starvin's going to be a massive benefit. He hears them coming, and now stalls for time. Backups on the way.
That's huge. They've already used their smokes up. Tricked have nothing to stop this Molotov. They've got to wait. Oh, Starvin! Oh, no! Oh, and he goes down to the other Molotov! Stuck between a flame and another flame. Cadian's not able to get anything through the smoke, I say, as he takes Hunden down to 20 HP, but doesn't stop the bomb plant. That could have been it, stopping it on time. Nade through to Hunden, finishes him off. Now we're down to a 3 versus 3 yet again. Trick trying desperately to take this map away from Heroic. But if Heroic find this, we go to another overtime. They're waiting, they're biding their time. They know exactly how important this is. Trick have got a good setup. They're spread out over towards Dark and in the pool and Banana. Oh, no longer in Dark as Shush falls. Roje, no! Oh! Oh my god, Roje, you can't miss those, not now! It cost them, and it probably cost them the map as well. This is going to overtime yet again with Heroic finding the defuse. Of all the times to miss a shot, that was not the one.
Oh, the ultimate of chokes at the worst possible moment. Oh, that's tragic for Tricked. Seconds away from taking this map, but as it stands, we go to another overtime between Heroic and Tricked. Oh, man, you can't help but feel bad. You really can't, man. Could have been so damn good from Tricked in that off-front position. They were set up so perfectly for it. They even forced mistakes from the likes of Starvin, you know, that 1 HP Molotov in the back of the bomb site. Just awkward footwork from Heroic overall, but the nade with the damage followed up by the AWP and, of course, the missed shots. The credit to Starvin. 36 rounds in, he's got himself 46 frags. Performing well above average here and well above some of the players in this server. I think all of the players in this server actually you can make an argument for.
The issue for me with Stavin's performance is that if we look at halftime, he was on, I think, 42 kills. Sorry, if we look at the end of regulation, he was on 42 kills. So he's really slowed down when it's come towards these buy rounds. And for Heroic, having a player like him who's been so pivotal throughout the comings and goings so far, only finding, what, 4 kills across the last 6 rounds, with all full buys as well, that's it's definitely one that's going to hurt them. But at the same time, I mean, you can't just say, well, he didn't ace 4 times, so, I mean, it's his fault. We're seeing the others step up a little bit, which is needed, put it that way.
Talked about it for the longest time. Let's see whether the Cadian, the second top fragger for Heroic, can try and lead his team in the fragging numbers from here on out. 60 seconds into the round, and so far no one's leading anything for the T side. They aren't going into an execution as of right now, just playing out those defaults, trying to look for damage. So far, no damage done to any player in the server as they commit to the B side execution. They love this so much. One player lurking, but the execution comes in regardless. Starvin smoke down towards the left-hand side of New Box. He's ready to try and receive them with the right-hand side instead. Gets that first kill. M4 gives up his position as the damage being done to the Orpher in the back lines. Blind spray from Snappy, just can't take the man down. Eventually, he finds Roger the 5 versus 3, but Starvin is traded as a core moves in to pick up that bomb, get the plant down. Shush cuts off one of the rotators in the backline. They push forward. Snappy with a spray back. They're able to get the kills, and eventually Snappy finds the wedge shot through the wall. 15 seconds left, and Bubs gets to pick up this bomb. Has got to get the plant down. Second tries to charge. Forces the issue on. Snappy gets that kill, but now needs to get the plant in. 7 seconds. Let's attack the face. Can he deny it? Yes, he can. Up against the next man, though. Shush gets the trade. And for a second, it looked like Heroic could have heroic that round out of the hands of Tricked. The 19 on the board, they do maintain the first round of the T side.
Taking the advantage at least for now. We'll see how long that lasts. Tricked have been toying with us and toying with Heroic. An opportunity again and again. For now, we oh, the nades and banana again. Bubsky, I would love to go back on this VOD and check how many times he's been naded down below 30 or 40 health by nades in banana at the very beginning of a round. So frequently happening to him, going for those. And also, you see when they don't nade banana, he's the one getting aggressive. And that was just unnecessary from Cadian. He takes a shot, he misses it on a player bailing the round, and instead of backing out, pulls out a nade to try and get a little bit of chip damage onto whoever it was. Completely unnecessary. You're risking your life and indeed being punished in this case. You're showing why it's a bad idea. For what? The sake of at most 50 HP? It's not like they're not going to have armor. It's fairly unlikely.
Utility being used to force the issue here on the T side, trying to work off the back of that opening kill, but Tag will trade back on Shush's part, so 4 on 4. Borat lurking here in Graveyard. He drops the first, not the second mana core, able to respond with the same damage. Still done to the T side. As Starvin moves in, tries to shut down Hunden. Tag with a P250, flashes out on a core, takes him down. Hunden trying to back at 3 points of health, desperately needs his frag, and indeed he'll get it, but look at the numbers on the Trick side. 2 on 2 as the bomb does go down. They know roughly where it's been planted. They're not ready for Snappy. AWP back over here in the Graveyard position as Bubs gives his back turn to Tag. Heroic will get the 19th on their board this time. 3 kills for Tag and a great effort on that retake. So much damage done to the T's. Trick just can't seem to fight their way out of this.
$19 to 19. Yeah, indeed. There's just no way out at the moment. We're stuck with the constant close scoreline. It just doesn't seem to be edging anywhere. And for Heroic on the CT side, we've said this has been their better side the majority of the time, and we didn't really see it from them coming into the beginning of the game. But then again, you know, when it came to the later on buy rounds, that's where they shone through a little bit more so. You know, they lost out of the first 8 rounds. I think they won 2 or something like that on their CT side, and then they really came back into it and found their 7. It was an okay recovery.
Ooh. Well, that was Bubsky's kill every day. Apparently not, though. AWP kill on Katie, and this time not aggressively facing against the Tricked side. Starting things off on the right foot again for the Heroic Boys, trying to secure that 20th round in the first half of this. Again, Tricked, when they're on that back foot, they like resorting to that B site here. I think this is probably the site they've hit the most over the course of their rifle rounds. The smokes do go up. Cadian with an incendiary to respond. He's got Starvin in the back of the bomb site. No AWP this time. As Molotovs come into the second wave of utility. Tricked ready to move in now, but Starvin aggressive sprays on the first man, connects it to the second, but burns alive before he can get the frag off on Shush. Now Cadian here with the AWP. He landed some decent wall bangs. Going to get the kill on Hunden. Look for Shush instead. Shush trades him back 3 versus 3. Bit passive from the AWP. Snappy can't fire through the smokes and get the man down. Retake up for the Heroic side. How can they make this work? The afterplant positions, again, so good from the Trick side. The smokes do all go up. They try and block off one kill, isolate that one player back over to Banana, but no one's there for the T's. So now they have to push in just 25 seconds or so on the clock.
Oh! Borup and S-Tag, I mean, on the back of that nade, so much damage was done. And for Heroic, the retake comes down so quickly. You've got the 2 players over towards Dark that are eliminated, and then you've obviously got a fairly easy time on the final kill, thanks to that. All in all, you know, proceedings for Heroic are looking fairly decent. That's them 20-19. And all they need to do now is find 2 rounds in the next half on their T side. That's doable. That's perfectly reasonable to expect. For Trick, though, they need a completely flawless CT side, 3 in a row. First team to hit 22 takes it over the line. And that's not going to be easy to do, but it starts out with the familiar double op setup. Bubsky and Acor taking these into the game to see what they can do. It's got to be demotivating, though. This is the first time for... I'm just double checking in my head. I think this is the first time since about 15 or 16 rounds that Trick have actually been behind.
Yeah, that sounds about right, actually. I think they took the lead for the most part throughout that overtime. And of course, they had the lead towards the end of regulation, so that makes sense to me. Either way, for Heroic, it's a massive milestone here in overtime. Only 1 away from map points. S-Tag cuts down the first player for Acor. Look at how close Shush is. Are they ready for this? No, they're not. Spray back on the first man. Pushing out to the AK, but not ready for Cadian to cut him off. Still 1 player back over in the pit position. He's lurking and waiting for the bomb plant to be secured. He'll cut off Snappy. Turn around for the second man. He's made his way deeper to the bomb site, though. The nade shouldn't shut down S-Tag. It will do a little bit of damage. But the 3v2 retake needs to still come in. Hunden trying his best. Cadian down to 2 points of health. Starvin on 10. This is an opportunity to work with Bubsky. Caught off guard towards Long. Leaves Hunden alone to clutch this. He's done something like this before. And the Molotov will burn. He gets a second kill. He might do it again. 2 HP for Cadian. He's got to land the headshot. Hunden has got to completely miss out the spray. And he missed the first phase. Second phase doesn't get the frag, but the third phase will finish the job. Hunden, a massive 4K to equalize on the board once again.
So many people would have just lost money if you said one player is going to get a 4K clutch, a 1v3 in the end, to win the first round of this. It wouldn't be Hunden you put the money on. But it comes back to the point that we were making over in regulation. It's God Hunden. He's back. He's been playing really well for Trick. He's returned to form. And this lineup in general obviously has had so much success. Like we said, over at V4, absolutely dominating.
Starvin. Oh my god.
50, yeah, reaching the 50 mark. I mean, it's taken 40 rounds, so I almost find it more impressive that he got 42 frags within regulation. 42. Like, that's just insane. And what a number to finish on as well, the meaning of life. Actually, I've just noticed Bubsky's not got an AWP this time. They've decided that they've opted for the single op instead, and I think a lot of this would be down to the fact that Heroic have played a lot of faster executes. They've pushed towards the strategy that has worked, right, is faster towards B, or indeed just blitzing down with smokes and flashbangs, and so Tricked instead want to make sure that Bubsky's able to take closer range fights, which obviously you can't do quite as easily if you're playing with an op.
Once again, they'll play very, very carefully into that mid position. One of the defaults here, Heroic not going to find any kills, just damage being done to both Esatag and Roage as the main two players. And this time going for the A setup. B has been loved so much by these two teams. The smoke's going to try and cut off one of the players in the backline. Shush here. Can't get the kill on Borup. He goes falling. Hunden left alone on the bomb site. Trading places with his teammate. The Molotov in towards the back of the site as well. That'll double Molotov and burn him down to just 14 HP. He stays alive though. And Backup has been given the chance to rotate into position as Starman gets Roage. Borup follow up onto Hunden, finishes the job on towards him, and of course got to go massive with the AWP, gets himself two, but his backup's gone. Trying to shoulder bait in further shots from the rifles in play, but no other T-side player will show his face, trying to get those wall bangs, but in the end there's too many players to find. As a core left alone, will fall alone as Heroic gets a map point once again.
You see exactly what we're talking about there with the closer range fights. Heroic just blitzing down towards A on the back of all those smokes. If you have an AWP in that kind of position, you're not going to get a whole lot done. Acor's starting to edge up on that god tier performance. 37 kills on the board. The consistency there has certainly helped out Trick, but they're going to need it now more than ever. It's the final round, and if Heroic find it, we'll be facing map number 2 in just a couple of moments. But if not, it's going to be another OT. And we'll be here all night long. Let's see if Trick have got what it takes to bring us over to another overtime. It starts out with, again, a single op on Acor. Bubsky coming in on the M4, not the secondary op this time. Now pulling down on short, doesn't see a whole lot, but the flashbangs coming in, prompts Acor to just back off. Molotov to halt the push, and look how fast Heroic are going for this. Stavin falls to start it off. Trick to delay them with the molly for just a couple of seconds, but eventually they'll blitz in. Acor has to smoke himself as well to stay alive.
Got the man advantage. Hunden's going to try and take an advanced angle. This could be risky, but for Shush it's not, as Borup drops in towards him over on the pit position. Bubsky wraps back in and drops that bomb all the same. 5 on 2, Stampy with one good trade, but he's got to find a whole lot more, and it's just too much to handle. Roage secures a third overtime for the Trick side. 21-21. And it's okay, Mitch. I have got all night to do this, so we are going to buckle in for what should be a bit of a close affair here. You know, we hope this match will be close between two Danish teams, but this is probably a bit more than we actually expected to chew.
Yeah, it looked like Heroic were going to be pretty heavily favored coming into the first map, though. Inferno tends to play out far better for them than it does for Tricked, and yet Hunden's been able to lead the team all the way through this. Some absolutely phenomenal performances. Not even 51 kills from Stavin is enough to stop Tricked from taking this at least to another overtime. Now for Heroic, moving into this overtime number 3, you've got an opening duel going down for Cadian. With Molotovs and Banana, they're not really able to retake this angle, and Roche is going to keep them back for just a moment longer. With the smoke in play, he can hold down a Banana all by himself. Hunden, oh, okay. What I was envisioning for a second there was Hunden throwing the smoke down, and then Roje obviously delaying a Banana for quite a bit, making sure they don't push in. But instead they decide that Roje is going to be the one throwing it, Hunden staying to support him. This leaves the A defense very much weakened. As the smoke dissipates, they're waiting for a push to come through. Flashbang, Roje was playing counter flash, so finds himself an opening. Hunden taken down immediately, and Roje follows and falls. This is not fantastic. They don't expect Acor to be here this fast, though. Neither would I, really. But he's all alone. And this is, well, even if they didn't kill him, they would just rotate over and plant on A, leaving him in an impossible retake.
Yeah, Heroic getting that first pick. A bit of a weird transition from the Trick side, trying to see if they can push those players in over to the Woodstack corner, but in the end, the rotations away were still caught off guard, so not to be in this case for the Trick side, as Heroic pretty much mopped up old players while only losing 2 of their own. A chance back into this next round here, and the Breeze coming through. It's a core that strikes first this time with the AWP, not losing the man advantage in the early Banana take here. Tricked. Much more passive from Heroic though, and they will fall back over to the A bomb site. Very quickly playing into this bomb site as well. Ready for the flashes all the same, and counter smokes back from Shush, expecting Incendiaries to come through into this nades on towards Hunter's position. As he waits back on the other side of the pit area. Molotov's back. It will be extinguished by the smoke, excuse me. Starvin gets a kill. Back to the man advantage of the heroic side, and they sit pretty in way. Bit more passiveness, but they're waiting for the backstab from Cadian to come in. They've got one player pushing out over from the long position. He's going to start moving in. Might buy a chance on a backstab over towards the B bomb site. As the T's make their way up via Banana, a core. Only man to defend this. He's playing contact, but contact doesn't account for a backstab. Usually, if you have the defensive held up towards that backstab, you don't have to worry about it, but Caden's going to check every single angle. 40 seconds, and they have to go relatively soon. Indeed, the AWPer of the CT side will start to consider that being a plausibility, but still scoping in, checking the back. He's still made his way into church, and he goes down for it. 4-on-2. This retake's going to have to come through from Tricked. I don't even think they want to tempt fate with this one. They'll fall back out towards the mid position, save their rifles, as the bomb plant will be secured by Heroic.
Well, with the overtime, you don't really need to save. I'd say they'll probably still go for this.
You were saying?
Okay. I mean, they have enough money to buy in the next round. What are we going for?
I tend to find that players tend to act a little bit off instinct here in the overtime rounds, and obviously a 4 versus 2 retake on the B bomb site is very, very how would you say, impossible is the right word for it. So I agree with you. I agree with you. In terms of logic, it should make sense just to throw yourselves at the retake and just go for it, because you're going to have a buy in the next round. But from a player standpoint, you know, in the heat of the moment, they're probably thinking a little bit differently, which is why the save call probably does come through from Tricked. Again, Heroic, regardless, are going to be able to win that 23rd round.
Like, they're going to have 6K on some of their players left out. There's Bobski, 6.4K. Roj 3, Acor 2.4. Like, they could have easily went for the previous and had very, very little impact on the round. But, okay. We're playing for it. Especially when you're 2-0 down in the OT. It's not really the time I'd expect you to go, we don't need this round. But we'll see how it pans out, I guess. For Trick now, we expect a lot from them with their saved weapons. James is smiling cheek to cheek looking at this game. I'll tell you that. We're into a 5v4 though, immediately losing the duel with Acor falling in the apartments. He was trying to get a little bit froggy over towards the T-Avs, but it's not to be. Second mid's not his friend. They'd already jumped out in through the balcony. Talking about balcony, Shush gets aggressive, drops down into pit. A free trade back. Still not the best of situations for Tricked. Heroic are going to have an advantage, but not as much as before. The fake being sold on A with a little bit of utility usage from Stavin, and then this will be a fast blitz on B where only one player remains. It's all on Bubsky right now.
Looking at these headshots, the AWP's first man to face. When is he going to attempt the face of his own right? Warp shot baited. I think he may have spotted him, but didn't land that shot regardless. Counter smokes come in. Actually, that's a flashbang, excuse me. Bubsky completely blind and completely out in the open now. Falling, 4-on-3, spray from Roish to do a lot of damage to Snappy, but doesn't get the kill. Turn onto the AWPer instead, and that might be in the long game a bit more of an advantage. Massive HP differential between Tricked and Heroic in a 3 versus 3, but only a flash and a HE. If he puts this towards Dark, Hunden's considering it. If he did that, there would have been a man advantage gained by Tricked, but for now, the smoke's still up. The nade's coming through, puts it out towards the close range, and does tag S-Attack down to 19, so these aim duels can go well for Tricked. It all comes down to how they face it. Starvin, the main man of the defense, gets himself one and connects the spray to the second. As this attack does get one, Snappy baiting himself, sacrificing himself for the round, and it will be a flawless half for Heroic. 24-21 at the turn of OT3.
Surprised they went for it. I thought they'd save. Yeah,
right,
Heroic
we're not operating off that much instinct here, Mitch. Okay, come on.
But for Heroic, I mean, it's so hard to look at them and think that they haven't got this in the bag. They're looking to be back on form. Stavin stepping up with that double in the last round. Catching them as they run over towards the side. He's on 56 kills. It's one of the first times in my memory I've seen 50+ kills on a player. Now, granted, it's in a lot of rounds. Like, these overtimes are very, very rarely stretch out for this amount of time. The thing is, at this point on the T side, I feel bad for Tricked because they've got to try to pull out new strategies. They've no chance to test them. You've got to run your strategy, and if it doesn't work, you've lost the map after being so close to winning for so long. And the thing is, imagine how deep in the strat book you are right now. Like, as a map that Tricked play a fair bit, they obviously have practice on it. They know a lot about Inferno and how they want to play it. But when you've already run through like 20 T rounds, that's a lot of there's not a lot you can have left to do to really surprise Heroic at this point.
No, 100% right about that. One of the worst positions you could be in if you're tricked. They have to go fourth. They have to find a way to keep alive in this one. It's 45 seconds on the clock. The smokes will start to go up to down towards the coffins and to the cross area. Snappy as the first of Bubsky Strush trade, and Starvin gets the kill on the next man. 4 versus 3 as the Molotov does not burn him out. He still goes on peeking. The flashbang will keep him blind as Rage does take him down. So, bomb plant to be secured. 3 on 3. Bomb trying to see if he can get there quick as the smoke starts to fade. He can't catch Hunden off. So he falls back to the bomb site, and Bob going to continue hunting Hunden as well. Rounds that corner, this way is awkward, and Hunden can get him down with Esatag getting one good trade, but Roro's trading it right back. Tricked just about maintain control of that round. A very awkward retake from Heroic there.
It's hard when you start the spray in midair. It can be really hard to adjust to it when you land, and it's exactly what's happening when he drops down there. It's a shame. At 24-22, still plenty of time for Heroic to pull this off. They're going with the single op on Katie, and everybody else taking M4s. Plenty of utility rotating around. You can see at this point that they have cash for the next round, so I don't imagine a save will come through. Just saying that preemptively, just in case some weird stuff happens again. I'm going to lose my mind if it does. Acorn takes Katie to start off. This is huge entering down towards Banana. Bubsky onto Stavin. Now, yes, he loses a lot of HP, but Acorn's there to back him up. He's dead for sure now, but again, there we go. It's Hunden this time, not the AWP on Acorn. The great trade's going up. They just push Banana, making sure they isolate one fight at a time. No trade potential for Heroic. It's all down to S-Attack 1 versus 4, wondering how the hell he got here. Now, I think we might be seeing an attempt at a ninja. Just based on the position, he could be waiting for a player to walk by, and if the opportunity presents itself, taking a kill, and then going out for the fights. But based on this, and I really hope this comes through, that he's going for a ninja.
Uh-oh. I think you might be right here, Mitch. I find that one player back at the site. Here he goes. Down on the side. He's going to get spotted before it blooms. Never mind. Nice attempt. Nice try. I mean, no, at least he doesn't, you know, actually, like, save his weapon this time around, you know. Going for the risky plays. And Heroic. Map point at the turn of the half. Now staring down another overtime here at 24-23. Tricked so confident on this T-side half, and we talked about how this is the worst position for them to be in because of they've run the playbook through, they've brought out everything they could in the regulation and the past 2 OTs. And here they are, still managing to take confident rounds above Heroic. Looking for OT number 4, but that's not a good start. The contention over to Banana. The nades down on Bubsky's part will do a lot of damage to him. We're Tricked. Working in over to the apartments for the most part on their main default play, so initially looking like it will be an A-site commitment. They're playing extremely passively on the part of Tricked. The Incendiary from Borup is almost perfectly placed as well. He's got a good region waiting for the flashbangs to come through, expecting Tricked to get the apartments, but he's getting caught off guard, and here they come, quick and out of the gate into the pit position. It's Borup getting Hunden down first. Shush with a trade. That's a tag, trades it right back onto Roage, and the bomb plant can't be secured. It's been dropped out in the open. They've got to get this kill on towards the man as he sprays blind on Shush. A 4-on-2 now. Finally, Heroic gaining a 2-man advantage in one of the most crucial moments of this matchup. A core looking for a trade, looking for some way back into the round, but so far he's not finding anything.
He saw the nades go over the smoke. He knows there's players here, but just can't catch an angle. And with that bomb not planted, nobody's going to be peeking. Molotov's going to go down towards S-Attack, but it's actually going underneath balcony. And that's unfortunate to read him where S-Attack is. Oh, and he goes on top of the bicycle. A second kill up there, and they ride themselves all the way into the victory. 25-23. Beautiful from Stavin, though. 57 kills. Where's that ADR? 123 ADR across... what, 48 rounds?
Yeah.
What? How?
That's pretty mad. 57 kills total. An incredible performance from Starvin in that one. Just about pushing his team past the edge of it. And Heroic will just be able to take their map pick. But so many times it got close. So many times you thought that maybe Trick might be able to steal it away. And again, that would have been disaster because remember, our second map is picked by Trick. It is Overpass. It is such a confident map for them. And I still believe this series can go 2-1. So I can't say the same thing on the Heroic end of things. We'll find out as we go to a very short break. Join us after it as we see whether Heroic can complete the 2-0 and make their way into